Hey, I'm Tom,
And I'm Mike,
and this is Under the Umbrella Podcast.
where we talk about anything and everything.
So let's get into it.
Hell yeah. Alright, so today's little topic.
This little tidbit.
Oh, this happened to me. I thought that I was gonna get out of lab at 5 o'clock. And I did not.
You did not?
It did not happen. I was I usually get out of lab at 5. It ends at 5:40.
Yeah.
But I always get out early
Mhm.
just because I'm a chem wizard. I'm just
Chem
sitting
wizard,
there.
Mike.
Yeah. But anyway, I really expected to get out even earlier because I was like, oh, I gotta get to this podcast. I want to do this so bad. So and then all of a sudden I look at the time and it's 5:45 and I'm like, oh, sick. I'm like wow.
Oops.
That was a really fulfilling lab. So
Yeah.
I just immediately ran home. But that was, I guess that was a preface to this podcast.
And here we are.
Here we are now, podcasting. Not on the couch though, because that would be inappropriate.
Our original name for this podcast was The Podcasting Couch. But now we're in chairs.
Yeah, the podcasting chairs. Let's see. Could go over how the first timer climber workshop kind of thing went. It was quite interesting, I guess.
It's quite interesting. So for those of you that don't know, me and Michael Petito both work at our university's rock wall.
Mm-hmm. And to give you a little bit more preface to that, we go to SUNY Cortland, which is in Cortland. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's 30 minutes south of Syracuse, if anyone's wondering or isn't sure. But yeah, so we're working at the rock wall. I went down with Skylar to kind of check out, to see how much popularity it got. And as me and Skylar were walking down, we were like, oh wow, there's a lot of people at the wall. It was more than I've really seen for the year.
Yeah.
Quite honestly. So me and Skylar were walking down and we're seeing and we're getting excited.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, this is so cool that we get to see so many people at the wall, because usually it's fairly empty, especially at that time. And the time range was from 7 to 9. So we're down there. Joe Stewart immediately gets out of the chair, jumps up all excited, and is like, yo, are you guys here for the first time at Climber Workshop? And he knows we work there, we're all friends. And we were like, yeah, we got this, 100%. We're here for first timer climbers. And he goes, yeah, so you guys are the first ones.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm just now my brain completely recalibrates, because I'm just who are those people? And he's like, oh no, they've all been here before, and they just happened to come down during the first timer climb workshop. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah. So there was a solid 5 people there, not including me and Skylar and JR, who was another employee at the wall, and Joe.
Sweet.
So it wasn't bad, but I just kind of felt bad because my expectations immediately dropped right when I entered the rock wall.
Yeah. That's fair.
But
yeah,
that was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, on an upscale kind of thing, this Friday there's going to be that adaptive clinic.
Oh yeah?
That Bodie's doing.
Is it at our wall?
It's going to be at Syracuse.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun. So if you guys hear this before Friday, go check that out.
Be there.
Be there, Central Rock, Syracuse. Adding you.
Adding.
But yeah, that should be really cool. I'm excited for that, because when I went last time, Ivan came. Do you know Ivan?
Yeah, I know Ivan.
Yeah, so Ivan is a student here as well, studying therapeutic recreation, and he is, how would you say it, he is in a wheelchair, essentially.
Yeah.
But he's a really cool guy, and I got to work with him a lot in the adaptive clinic, so I got to see him climb the wall, all on his own, which was really dope. But yeah, it was a lot of cool stuff, and it was really fun, and the whole community there was really, really heartwarming, 100%. And also got to do some climbing.
Yeah. Always a positive.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
So that was dope. Well, that's what's going on for my week, for the most part. For you, Tom, what do you got?
Just I work at the bike shop, fixing bikes.
Oh yeah.
That's mostly it. A lot of resume stuff for my senior seminar class.
Oh.
So it's been a big resume week.
Mm-hmm. You have any places in mind that you're looking at?
Yeah, I'm looking at a mountain school in Colorado. So it's just guiding,
Nice.
Climbing and skiing.
Is that the one you mentioned that doesn't provide housing?
Yep.
Shit. That does sound pretty cool though.
Yeah, it sounds cool, but it's gonna be expensive.
Or like, didn't you mention like Casey possibly going out there with you?
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, hopefully.
No pressure, Casey. I don't know if you're gonna listen to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty dope. For the bike shop, like what's like the usual?
Well, we just hired
Matt.
2 new kids actually. Matt,
Okay.
this kid Matt and this kid Lewis.
Uh-huh.
So
how's that working?
So far no issues. I'm kind of just like getting them orientated.
Yeah. So how do you like Matt?
He's very enthusiastic. He's a really nice kid.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely still has a lot to learn about bikes and how to fix them.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, we're working on it. We're getting there.
So for y'all that don't know, Matt is a part of Climbing Club. And for y'all that don't know even more, I'm the vice president of Climbing Club. So, like, he is pretty much, like, one of my, I wouldn't say participants, but, like, someone who is involved in Rock Climbing Club. So, like, I know him pretty well. Pretty nice kid. Like, very enthusiastic, so gotta love that. But, yeah, I see a lot of potential and seems pretty good.
Yeah, I think he can learn the skills.
For sure.
Once he, like, understands them.
And I feel like he'll get it down, like down packed once he has it.
Yeah.
I feel like it'll be pretty nice.
Yeah.
What was that thing that was that Morgan was talking about? The overnight trip? What was going on with that? Because it was just kind of mentioned in the chat, but
yeah, so basically it was just going to be all the trip leaders going to like a lean-to close by to Cortland.
Okay.
And just spend the night there.
Where would it be? Like is it that one that's like 15
the Foxfire one? Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, but we wouldn't pack dinner. We wouldn't have dinner there, and then we wouldn't pack breakfast either. So it's literally just spending the night as a group.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it, because like I would love to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but like weekends obviously work way better for me.
Yeah.
And then also during the week is like, just I have jam packed. Like each day I have like a different homework to do for the next day. So it could get kind of difficult to like run out there in the middle of the woods at night and come back at 8.
Yeah, I see that.
I don't know, but maybe I feel like it'll be fun.
I think like the deal was like to get up at 6, so people that have 8 a.m.s could still go. Yeah.
I like bailed on my Tuesday classes yesterday.
Why?
It's like I literally woke up at 9:40 and I have a 10:05, so like plenty of time to get up, maybe even eat something like and still have plenty of time to like get to class. Like, no problem at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, like, looked at my phone. And then I, like, looked at myself. And I was just like, nah. I was like, that's not happening.
I feel that. It's a mood.
Yeah, I was just like, nah, today is just not the day. Also, I knew it was a day that just wasn't, like I was going to just go to class and just be involved in class. Like, that's really it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, at the least, I could get the notes from somebody. And that's really it. Like, I really wouldn't have missed out on anything.
That's fair. What class was it?
First one was programming, introductory program, but it is not introductory at all.
What kind of programming?
We used Python.
So it was like computer programming?
Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, it's pretty much he's just like, yeah, so welcome to introductory programming. All right, write a program.
Write a program.
And I'm just like sitting there and I'm like, what do I look like? Like Hugh Jackman from The Code? I'm like, no. This isn't a thing. So, yeah, getting that figured out is kind of interesting. But at least we sometimes do get to work in groups. And then the next one is Chem 2, lecture.
Yeah. Oh, the lectures.
Yeah, literally it's just algebra.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like I sit there and I'm in like one of the back rows. So like obviously like there's a stereotype the kids who sit in the back row just don't care. Okay, I'm a part of that a little bit. I've fallen asleep a couple of times, yeah. But like I wake up and I just look at the problem he's doing. I'm like, oh, he's just dividing by 2. Okay, time to go back to bed. And I hear people like, oh my god, what is he doing? Yeah. Like, what are all those compounds on the board? What are those pluses for? And I'm like, plussing means adding. Like, like crazy.
Yeah.
But, good. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Me and Declan had a lab today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, it's for our field natural history class. Mm-hmm. So, what we do is, like, Mondays and Wednesdays we have, like, lecture for 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And then on Wednesdays we have like a 3-hour lab, so it's from like 12:40 to like 3:40.
Yeah.
But we got out at 2:30 today. But it was very rainy today.
Yeah.
And the lab was going to Yeaman Park into like the little river.
Yeah.
And like trying to catch things. So just catching crayfish and stuff in the pouring rain.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
It was neat, but it was like there was only people that were not about it at all.
Really?
They were like hiding in the vans. Yeah.
Were you allowed to do that, or
no, you weren't supposed to, but it's whatever.
Like it's that lax?
It's yeah.
Oh, that's so
it's
lucky.
pretty chill.
Yeah. That's actually really nice, kind of like to have that kind of flexibility.
Yeah.
Like my labs are just like, oh, you're not doing it. Okay, like here's a 0, like you're good to go. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like I was like, I'll take that 0.
Yeah.
Probably better than what I would get if I tried.
Yoink.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And that school's going good.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Right now I'm like doing all right.
Mhm.
Like definitely could be doing better, but like so busy.
So busy.
Like literally, like day to day, it's like actually insane. Like
Yeah.
I don't even have time to breathe. Like literally,
Don't really have time to podcast.
Yeah, right. Crazy. No, but on Wednesdays, like literally, it's my day to forget to eat.
Yikes.
Like I eat at my first class starts at 11:30, and then so before that I eat, but then until now, like I just had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But,
With
like,
blackberry jelly.
Blackberry jam, yeah.
Formerly blueberry jam.
Yeah, I thought, okay, so funny story actually, now that it's brought up. So I was making peanut butter and jelly like 20 minutes ago, and I'm making the peanut butter and jelly, and I went to Hollenbeck's and bought
a cider mill.
Blueberry,
local.
yes, a local cider mill, and I bought blueberry jam, to my knowledge. So I went there, I was like, oh my god, like blueberry jam, this is fantastic. I bought apricot because I was so excited.
You get so excited with the blueberry, you buy apricot. It's like, yeah!
Perfect, yes. I double fisted my ass right on out of there. No pun intended. But, so.
What was the pun?
Double fisting ass.
Oh, okay. Yep.
But, yeah, that one right over. But, yeah, so like. I was making a sandwich like 20 minutes ago, and I'm like pureeing this bad boy right on my white bread, and Tom's like, oh yeah, like, you know, I see you got like jam, like it's not regular jelly. I'm like, oh yeah, it's blueberry jam, and he looks at it, he goes, it's blackberry, and like my whole like I was like, what? I was like, what? He was like, you judging me right now? Like, oh my god. I did a Skylar, I was like, oh my god. So I was just like, oh my goodness, like what, like, but it still tasted good, so I'm like completely fine with it.
How many times have you eaten the jam since you bought it?
I've eaten it about 5-6 times, like more than a handful. For sure. Yeah, and like have thought it was blueberry, like probably still think it's blueberry. They're just placeboing me.
Placebo.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But to backtrack, why I went Skylar, oh my god. You want to tell that, or you want me to tell it?
Oh, the story about Sky?
Mm-hmm. On the
So,
fall break trip.
Yeah, so we went on a fall break trip
Mm-hmm.
together and some other friends. And after fall break trip, we made a flag to like commemorate our trip.
Mm-hmm.
So we all wrote our names on it. And Skylar spells his name Skyler.
Yep.
With an ER, because that's what he always says as he
Mhm.
introduces himself.
It is with an ER.
Yes.
Just so you know.
So on the flag, he wrote SKYER, forgetting the L in Skylar. Before the ER.
In his own name.
So we pointed out to him, Skylar, you spelled your name wrong. You wrote Skyer. And it's just, oh my god.
Yeah, he did. In the middle of Adam Marino, who was a former trip leader, and he was just like Skylar just went, oh my god. And like we all are just like eating chili and like having dessert, and we just look at Skylar, and like he just missed a letter in his name.
The shock on his face was unbelievable.
It was priceless, quite honestly.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. That was such a good time.
It was a good time.
That trip was like one of the best trips I think I went on. Because it was like, it felt the least organized. Like, structurally, it was sound. But like, organized, not really.
That's fair.
But in a good way.
Yeah.
So like, it was just like, hey, what do you guys want to do today? It's like, oh, let's do this and that. And it's like, okay, cool. It's like, the structure was that we're doing something that day. But the organization is just like, it was kind of free to our leisure. Aside from the fact that we were like, actually needed to hike mountains.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel that.
So that was pretty cool.
It's also, there's like the people you're with too. Like, you know, we were
true.
all friends going on a trip.
Mm-hmm. And the only person that was Jimmy that like wasn't a part of the not that he wasn't a part of the friend group, but like just like an outsider.
We just didn't know him beforehand, really.
Exactly. And then he came in and he like was the one piece puzzle that was solved immediately.
You mean the missing puzzle piece?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he was perfect. So he
a one piece puzzle.
One I really want to use that analogy
for people,
more.
For people that are just really bad at puzzles.
I'm just really forcing that because I saw it in a video.
And a one-piece puzzle?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it was so cool because I was just like, yeah, because it was like, yo, it's a one-piece puzzle and people love solving puzzles. And like, I really want to use it, but it's just, it hasn't really come up lately. But I'm forcing the issue.
There you go.
Yeah, this year I'm hoping to have the same kind of flow to it. Because the first day is going to be pretty intense. It's going to be like 20 miles, give or take. Like a range from like, I would say like it's going to be from 18 to 21.
What range are you doing?
The Seward Range.
Seward Range in the High Peaks region of the Adirondack Park.
Mm-hmm. It's more towards the western region. It is right underneath Lake Placid by 48 minutes. Don't ask me how I know. Actually, you can because I'm leading the trip this year.
So how do you know? That's 48 minutes south of Lake Placid.
I looked it up beforehand.
Google.
Yeah, because I had to Google it because I needed to like plan out exactly how many miles, how long it's going to take, because that's going to be put into a trip packet, which is then sent through to Connor and Nicole, who are assistant director and the GA for kind of like outdoor pursuits, which is where we run all of our trips and all that kind of fun stuff, which is really cool. Tom's also a trip leader, and he is coming on the trip too, which is pretty dope.
So far.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and also like our trip this year is like involving a lot of the trip leaders, which is good, but it's also bad, because I feel like
you want people that aren't. Exactly. You want people to come into the program.
Yeah, like kind of like get introduced to like the outdoors, but also on like the offhand, this is more of an experience trip. Like it's not something like you need to have backpacking.
It's not a beginner trip.
100%. Like advertised and everything, like as shown. Like, hey, this is not like gonna be a walk in the park kind of thing. Like first day we're doing 20, and next day we're gonna do about 7, which isn't too bad, but
it's something that anyone can do. But if you're super new to it, it's definitely very intimidating.
100%, for sure. That's why I'm hoping that they do plan another fall break trip.
They should. I think they will.
Like it should be definitely something incorporated, because last year was a hit.
4 days.
Yeah, because when I signed up for the fall break trip last year, like if you guys don't know, there's so much demand for this trip. Like the interest is extremely high for this trip. Like we put in the trip packet like almost a month and a half in advance, and usually you only need it like a month in advance.
2 weeks.
2 weeks in advance, yeah. So you could put in. So let's say me and Tom wanted to go to Central Rock and Syracuse as trip leaders, which we are doing November 14th. So if it's out by then, go on that trip. It's gonna be so fun.
It's easy grading.
100%.
You'll climb way out of your range.
For sure, at least a bump or 2 up grade wise for rock climbing.
Facts.
But yeah, like you put in a packet 2 weeks before and you're like good to go. You're ready to go. But me and Declan really like plan this out, and for y'all don't know, Declan is like one of my best friends. He's right outside.
Watching Cheers.
Watching Cheers. But yeah. So we like planned this out a month and a half in advance, like made it perfect so that we could send it in. And they put it on the website like maybe a week or 2 ago, and it's already full. So our trip gets filled pretty quick, which is awesome because we love to see that. But for the people who think that they're not experienced, or the people who are a little bit intimidated at the fact that like it's an experience trip but still want to go visit the high peaks, like hopefully there will be another trip that could like supplement that. So it's like a beginner trip that's also going to focus on climbing mountains in the high peaks. And so yeah, pretty much like our trip but like less intense. So hopefully something like that comes out. Someone has the courage to lead something like that, because last year that Saranac Sixer trip was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
And the Saranac Sixer is like in Saranac Lake. There's like 6 mountains. And
right in the lake, they're floating.
Right in there, yep. You gotta like jump on them like an obstacle course.
Skip.
Yeah, you gotta like skip across, and you gotta like water run, do all that stuff. But yeah, there's like 6 mountains in that region, and if you do all of them, and then you send in your paperwork, so pretty much saying that you did the mountains when you did them, yada yada yada. You send that into the Saranac region, and then they give you a patch, and it says like Saranac Sixer. It's really cool. Actually, let's see if we could pull up a picture of like what the actual thing looks like. So,
you're browsing incognito mode? No,
there's a new update that like you could put it in like dark mode.
Oh, dark mode.
So like I have it like that forever. Saranac 6. It's like, yeah, It's pretty cool. I like the new update. There's like a couple things that are a little annoying about it, like the fact that like every time I message somebody, there's like, it's like share your like special photo.
What's your special photo?
Nothing. It's just literally an M with, and it's like a pink background.
I don't know.
It's like,
I've not updated my phone yet.
It's so weird. So yeah, if
just hold it right up in front of the camera.
Yeah, let's see. So this is the first one. Autofocuses. So that's the first one. Then this one over here, it's the same one, but it says Ultra on top. And then this one over here is the winter one.
So it's an Ultra if you do it like all in one day.
Yep. So just like I was gonna explain that.
Sick. Just beat you to it.
Yeah, he did beat me to it. But the Ultra is pretty much doing all 6 mountains in 24 hours. So like I know a couple of people who have gotten up at like 2 a.m. and then just hiked all 6 from there. I think it was Rihanna.
Did she?
I think so.
I don't know.
Like recently, or I think Royal might have done it too. But I got up at 2 a.m. and then hiked all 6. And the thing that kind of stinks about it is that they're not like a chain mountain. So like, it's not like a ridge walk or anything like that. Like practically all the mountains are like separate with their own separate trailhead. So like you have to like hike up one, come down, get in your car, go to the next trailhead, and then go up and down kind of thing. And I think maybe like a couple, like 2 of them are like in one chain, but that could get kind of difficult because like parking and stuff could add to that a lot. But I mean, it's pretty cool. And then the winter one is obviously doing it in the winter, so like solstice-wise, so December 21st.
Solstice-wise?
Yeah. So that's the thing. You could say that.
Yeah, I know.
To March 21st. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then the bigger version of that, so like the more hardcore version Adirondack one is the Adirondack 46ers. It's
just more mountains.
There's just more mountains, yeah. It's 46 compared to 6, so.
40 more mountains.
Exactly. 46 minus 6 is
40.
40. Yeah. So that's a really cool one. I'm working on that. 2, 4, 8, 12. Yep. 12 mountains altogether. Times 4. Nope. Maybe. I don't know. We'll get back to that. Oh, it is times 4. 12 times 4 is 48 minus 2. Anyway, so that's 46. You there's no time limit for that though. You could do it whenever you want. You could do the first 30, like, you know, your first year, and then like not do it for 20 years and then finish the last 16. Like, it's really not that bad at all. But yeah, I know a decent amount of people have finished that. I'm on number 13. Skylar is also on number 13 because every fall break trip he's been on, I've been on. Tom, you've done a little bit more. You've done 13 plus Algonquin, Iroquois, and Wright. So it's 16.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure.
I know better than Tom.
My camera's gonna die.
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Use the power of Gahelma. I just made that up on the spot.
We could wrap it up and get back to it.
We can wrap it up.
And we'll pick it up next episode.
Yeah, so stay tuned for more content.
This will be on YouTube or Pandora or some digital format. So, see it coming. Do what you gotta do to listen to it. I don't really know. Expect a lot of things. And that's it. Bye.
Catch you later.
Bye. See ya. Bye. Bye.